Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 16th of May 2023. To be honest guys, the global cryptocurrency market is relatively the same. The numbers have marginally improved, but definitely still disappointing. Now today guys, Kevin McCarthy is going to be discussing with the left-leaning administration on what is going to happen regarding the US debt ceiling. Now what I'd really recommend you guys to do is follow Kevin McCarthy via Twitter to get some latest updates. Now it is not sure if the update is going to happen today or over the weekend or before the end of the month, but that would definitely impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, so definitely keep an eye on that. And guys, listen, one thing really surprising since the last 24 hours is the volume of DeFi, particularly to do with PancakeSwap and Uniswap, so we'll definitely go ahead and look at that news. And one of the biggest news, guys, that is circulating in the artificial intelligence world and that is connected to the cryptocurrency world is Worldcoin, and this coin is by OpenAI, and the news is that they are raising another $100 million. So it looks like we are going to be having some cryptocurrencies that is connected to artificial intelligence, that is connected to OpenAI. And in today's episode, I'll very briefly go ahead and explain what OpenAI is, and they have a different protocol called as Proof-of-personhood protocol. So I'll go ahead and explain what that protocol is. To be honest guys, I'm a bit skeptical on it, but nonetheless, I'll definitely go ahead and give the explanation on what Proof-of-personhood protocol is. Now, the second news is all the way from South Korea. And since the last few days, guys, there's quite a lot of news surrounding South Korea. Now, the news is Samsung Electronics is merging with Bank of Korea to work on central bank digital currencies, but the CBDCs will be working offline as well. And if you follow central bank digital currency, guys, they work something similar to cash. So you definitely don't need internet, and this I do feel has a much better competitive advantage, let's say over cryptocurrencies where you need to be connected to the internet. So we'll definitely go ahead and talk about what that news is all about. And guys, yesterday in my podcast, I did talk about Tether USDT, where surprisingly they had profit, which was highest in 2023, but looks like these profits are definitely questionable. And one of the chief officers from SEC has definitely given a massive rant via Twitter, and to be honest guys, the information that he has given in does make a lot of sense, and he's actually said that Tether is a mammoth house of cards. And look guys, one thing which I've been saying going back to 2020 is the black swan event for the cryptocurrency world might just be Tether. And does it have the potential to completely erase Bitcoin as well? I definitely do think so. So I'll definitely go ahead and explain what that tweet is all about. So quite a lot to cover guys in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we'll be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now both the news are to do with events that recently took place. The first one is an event by Fintoch, and they did actually hold a public event in Dubai, and the goal was to contribute to the global fintech ecosystem. And the second news is all the way from Saudi Arabia, and looks like they're definitely making massive headways in artificial intelligence, and the Saudi authorities did actually launch a Generative AI Hackathon. So I'll very briefly go ahead and explain what both the news is all about. So quite a lot to cover in today's episode, so let's get started with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee a Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee a Date and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee a Day aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retailer and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they have replaced it with Web3 and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets.
They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since we've taken care of that, let's look at the global cryptocurrency market. And as I said earlier guys, there is not much movement, particularly in the global cryptocurrency market. It is at $1.14 trillion. Now since the last 24 hours though, it has marginally gone up by 1.52%. And guys, listen, as and when the news develops regarding the increasing in the US debt ceiling, which I'm definitely hoping for, I wouldn't be surprised because of the news. The global cryptocurrency market might just pump by roughly around $3 to maybe even $500 billion. And is it possible for it to cross the $2 trillion mark? I really am doubting, but I'm definitely hoping for that. Now, the total cryptocurrency market volume over the last 24 hours has gone up by 38.52% since the last 24 hours. But listen to this, guys. Despite the increase of over 35%, the volume is ridiculously low at $30.72 billion. And the volume of DeFi is once again ridiculously low, and it is down to $2.03 billion. And if you look at the total value locked, it is at $46.85 billion. And just a quick reminder guys, on the 4th of Jan 2022, the total value locked of DeFi protocols was $242 billion. $242 billion. And fast forward to 16th of May, the total value locked is only at $46.85 billion. And this begs this question, is DeFi dead? Unfortunately, the numbers are not looking good, and Lido's dominance is definitely on an increase. It is at 26.34%, and so far as its total value locked is concerned, it is at $12.39 billion, 0.62% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now in today's episode, guys, I'll very briefly run through the 24-hour volume of the top 5 DeFi protocols. Now surprisingly, the number 1 is PancakeSwap, and the 24-hour volume is at $518.19 million. And since the last 2 weeks, or even months before that, it has always been Uniswap. But surprisingly, the volume of Uniswap is less than half of what it is, and it is at $513 million. Curve Finance is number 3rd at $58.01 million. Look at the difference, guys, between the second and the third. Second for today is Uniswap at $513 million, and Curve Finance is less than or almost 1/10 of Uniswap at $58.09 million. This, guys, is a massive anomaly. Now if you look at Meta TDX, which is at number 4, it is at $55.48 million, and number 5 at Dodo, which is at $25.52 million. Now listen guys, if you are into analytics and if you truly understand what Six Sigma is, there is a thing called as upper specific limit and lower specific limit. Now whenever the upper specific limit has a massive deviation, it just means one thing, that ethically there is something notorious or something wrong going on. And if you look at the numbers, that's exactly what it looks like. But nonetheless, we'll have to go ahead and discuss in detail what is going on so far as Pancake is concerned and what is going on in the world of Uniswap. Now let's look at the volume of stablecoins. And even stablecoins, guys, the same logic can be applied, particularly in the world of Tether USDT. Because if you look at it, the volume of all stablecoins is $27.93 billion. Out of that, Tether USDT accounts for $21.22 billion. And guys, historically, I've not been a massive advocate of Tether as well. And one thing which I've mentioned several times in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast is, when Tether USDT did the very first audit was only a pie diagram that actually showed its reserves. So I'll touch base on that once again while I'm discussing some of the questionable profits of Tether USDT. The number second so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned is Circle USDC at $3.08 billion, and Binance BUSD, guys, is on an absolute decline, and it is at $1.81 billion. Now stablecoins, guys, despite the volume being ridiculously low, is accounting for 90.92% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. So listen guys, these numbers guys are absolutely scary and definitely not good for the general cryptocurrency ecosystem. When will this number change? I really am not sure. Now let's look at the market cap. 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin's market cap is $529 billion, whereas Ethereum is $224 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin is $14 billion, and Ethereum is well less than 50% of Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume, and it is currently at $6.74 billion. The dominance, guys, surprisingly, of Bitcoin has gone up to 48.50%, which I think is brilliant, and the dominance of Ethereum is down to 19.70%. Now listen, guys, the next matrix I'm going to be looking at is the market cap of smart contracting platforms and privacy coins, and Ethereum's market cap is $224 billion. And listen to this, guys, Binance BNB's market cap is still relatively the same at $48.93 billion. So it looks like whatever is happening in the world of Binance BNB coin or Binance BUSD, it is not having an impact on the market cap of Binance BNB. This is another massive question mark. Ideally, the number should have either gone up or it should have gone down. Now, the numbers being relatively constant only means one thing. It means that there is some entity or some individuals who are trying to manipulate something. And I've said this several times in the last few weeks in particular, that I wouldn't be surprised if there is some notorious activity going on, particularly in the world of Binance as well. And I've mentioned this, guys, over and over again. Binance BUSD's market cap has gone down by over 60% in just a matter of 2 months. And once again, guys, I really am hoping I'm 100% wrong with this. Now, the number third so far as the smart contracting platform is concerned is Cardano, and it is at $12.87 billion. Now, guys, let's look at the market cap of privacy coins. Monero is once again clearly an outlier, and the market cap is staying steady at $2.80 billion, Mask Network at $302 million, and Zcash at $294 million. Now look, guys, privacy is such a critical element, and what I'd really urge you guys to do is try to look at what Monero is doing. And I recently had an interview with Marcos, one of a very good friend of mine, who's the crypto evangelist, so definitely check it out, because in that episode, he did actually mention some crucial details about Monero. And guys, listen, if you're someone who's a startup or trying to build things in the cryptocurrency world, definitely check out the story Alchemist. His services that he's offering, particularly in the world of cryptocurrencies, will definitely benefit you guys. Now, guys, let's discuss the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now, the price of Bitcoin is currently at $27,356. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.65%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 0.58%. Ethereum is currently at $1,825. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.59%. Since the last 7 days, though, it is down by 0.82%. Binance BNB coin, guys, is $314. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.83%. Since the last 7 days, it is marginally up by 0.26%. Now listen, guys, some massive news that is circulating in the world of ChatGPT, in the world of OpenAI, is Worldcoin. And the massive news is that Worldcoin by OpenAI is seeking funding, and they have nearly reached $100 million. And Financial Times did actually report that OpenAI Sam Altman nears $100 million funding for Worldcoin. And in the past, guys, they've had similar listing as well. And the Worldcoin project has already raised $100 million in 2022 and has just finalized a new round of funding from several large funds. And they also have this protocol called the Proof-of-personhood protocol. So what I'm going to be doing next, guys, I'm going to explain what Worldcoin is, how does it work, and then I'll give a brief explanation on what Proof-of-personhood protocol is. So let me try to give out explanation on what Worldcoin is. Now, Worldcoin, guys, is an open source protocol or system created to help to give everyone access to the global economy, and it is designed to be decentralized in nature, meaning that ultimately its supervision and decision making will rest with the community of users and not with a centralized entity. And the people and organizations supporting Worldcoin are developing the tools that work together to help its mission, and they want to have three things, that is World ID, Worldcoin token, and World app. So let me give you a very brief explanation on what World ID is. Essentially, it is a privacy-preserving digital identity designed to help solve many important identity-based challenges, including proving an individual's unique personhood. And Worldcoin token, guys, is the first token to be globally and freely distributed to people for both utility and future governance just for being a unique individual. Now, I'm not sure if it is going to be like an airdrop, but getting it free, and it's going to be distributed freely to everyone. But the big question is it going to be distributed equally, or are early adopters given more and the investors given more? That's the topic that needs to be taken into consideration. And so far as its World app is concerned, they claim it is a fully self-custodial app that enables payment, purchases, and transfers globally using the Worldcoin token, digital assets, stablecoins, and traditional currencies. And importantly, guys, Worldcoin, through World ID's unique digital identity, can play an important role in demonstrating humanness in an online world populated with increasingly advanced artificial intelligence. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? At the outlook of it, this does look like a brilliant idea, but there have been similar ideas in the past. I personally am not a fan of it yet, but let me go ahead and explain the 3 steps on how it will actually work. So first thing what you need to do is you need to download the World app. The second is you need to sign up for World ID. And finally, guys, receive your free share of Worldcoin and other digital currencies. But one thing you need to remember, guys, Worldcoin is supported by 2 organizations. That is the Worldcoin Foundation and Tools for Humanity. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see what Elon Musk has to say for it, because ChatGPT is definitely no longer open source. So the launch of this might just be a bit questionable. Now, guys, let me give you a very brief explanation on what the protocol called as Proof-of-personhood is. And it is essentially a mechanism that establishes an individual's humanness and uniqueness, and it can be thought as the first and most fundamental building block in establishing digital identity. And look, guys, this is massive hype about Web 3.0, and Jack Dorsey, or the censorship king, also said something called as Web 5.0. So digital identity looks like is a new buzzword, at least among the tech community. Now, you need to understand that Worldcoin's World ID protocol is designed to establish proof of personhood using a privacy-first, decentralized, and permissionless approach, and it aims to create a global system for verifying and managing identities. Now, the process begins with a specialized biometric imaging device called as the orb. Now, I really am not sure if you need to specifically buy this thing, or will this orbs be available free of cost, or will this orbs be available, let's say something similar to ATM machines. But nonetheless, this device captures unique biometric information from individuals, such as iris patterns or other identifying features, when a person undergoes verification using the orb, and the device ensures that they are a real human being and not an automated system or duplicate identity. And once a person has been verified by the orb, they receive a POP credential or proof of personhood credential, and this credential is stored in a digital wallet. And with the World app being the initial supported wallet, the World ID protocol enables the credential to reside locally on the holder's phone, ensuring control and privacy. Now, it's important to note, guys, that World ID allows individuals to use their credentials anonymously through the use of zero-knowledge proof. And zero-knowledge proof, guys, as we know, are cryptographic technologies that allow someone to prove the validity of certain information, such as, let's say, the identity, without revealing any other unnecessary details. And this actually ensures that users can prove they are real and unique individuals without compromising their privacy. And at its launch, the World ID supports specific verified credentials, including even phone number verification and iris biometric verification. This means, guys, individuals can easily access World ID if they have a smartphone and verified phone number, and the iris biometric verification provides an even more accurate and secured method of establishing identity. And guys, one thing which I did mention a few days ago, in UAE, they have something similar called as UAE Pass. Now, UAE Pass does not work in blockchain technology, they don't have any cryptocurrencies as well, but looks like this World ID app works something similar to the UAE Pass. Now, as the Worldcoin project and the World ID protocol continue to evolve, the community will have the opportunity to contribute and expand the supported verified credentials. This means in the future, World ID could potentially support additional forms of verifications, such as, let's say, government-issued identification documents or other biometric data. Now, overall, guys, the World ID and Worldcoin project aims to provide a globally accessible and decentralized identity system that prioritizes privacy, security, and proof of personhood using innovative technologies like biometric imaging and zero-knowledge proofs. And if you guys want to stay updated, what I'd recommend you to do is, guys, go to the website because WorldCoin, they have constant announcements, events, and also stay connected to them via the Twitter, Discord, and Telegram group. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? To be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical, and one big question which I have is what happens to the thing or the physical device called orbs? Do you need to separately buy it? Will it be accessible completely for free? And what happens if there are some vulnerabilities? But what I do feel, guys, if any government does actually utilize this, it'll be an absolutely game changer, and it just might be one of the things that the world actually needs. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding South Korea. And the massive news is that South Korean electronic giant Samsung has joined forces with Bank of South Korea to cooperate on a new central bank digital currency research, and Decrypt did actually provide an article that states both parties signed a memorandum of understanding at Samsung's headquarters, and according to Korean Herald report, Samsung and the Bank of Korea will be conducting further research into central bank digital currency issued by the Bank of Korea, as well as collaborating in the offline payment sector. And listen, guys, this is an area where I do feel CBDCs will have a competitive advantage in the cryptocurrency world. Now, on the 3rd of June, what I'm doing is I'm having an event on central bank digital currency where I'll go ahead and explain what is CBDCs, the basics, and its threats to freedom. And I also make a quick comparison with Bitcoin, so feel free to attend that session, because in that session I'm definitely going to discuss the news regarding Samsung and Bank of Korea trying to build on something where CBDCs can be used offline as well. Now, guys, let's discuss some notorious news regarding Tether USDT. And few days ago, guys, in my Crypto in Coffee 88 podcast, I did actually mention a report where Tether USDT did have an audit by another notorious firm called as BDO Italy, and they actually showed massive profits in 2023. And in that episode, guys, I very specifically mentioned that the information that Tether usually puts out does seem a bit dodgy. And what happened is that just yesterday, John Reed Stark, who's the former chief of Security Exchange, did actually mention via Twitter, and he went on a massive rant regarding Tether, and what he actually said that in his honest opinion, Tether is a mammoth house of cards. Now, I kind of agree to it. Now, what I'd recommend you to do is read through the series of tweets. And we did actually specifically mention on few core areas, that is the Tether's regulatory vacuum area, attestations are meaningless, and this is the notorious history of BDO Italy, that is the auditing firm. And the next point that he actually mentions is audits are not rocket science, and he did actually highlight few red flags as well. Now listen, guys, I 100% agree to the points that he has mentioned, because in that tweet, he did actually raise concerns about Tether, the first stablecoin, and its lack of transparency in audits. And Tether, guys, as you know, is headquartered in British Virgin Islands and has been promising transparency for several years, but has not provided sufficient evidence to support its claims. And if you want to dig deep into this, and if you actually do want to go into the rabbit hole, what I'd really recommend you to do is look at the official reports which was recently published by BDO Italy, and read through the previous reports right since its inception. And one thing which I did actually mention earlier, the very first audit that Tether USDT did was literally a one-page pie diagram. And if you were to compare that, let's say with Circle USDC's document or audit report is pages giving very specific details. So if you were to compare both, you would literally laugh at looking at Tether USDT's audit report. And one issue which was highlighted in the tweet is a regulatory vacuum surrounding stablecoins like Tether, and there is no specific legal framework in the United States to regulate them, which actually raises red flags, as there are no requirements for auditing, no requirements for reporting, or how reserves should be invested. And guys, you need to understand, Tether's business relies heavily on its financial reserves, yet these reserves remain unaudited and unconfirmed, and Tether only offers attestations rather than the actual audits, and these attestations are not as comprehensive or rigorous as audits. Furthermore, guys, what he mentioned in that tweet is that Tether's legal obligations to submit attestations has expired, which further diminishes transparency, and the lack of proper audit raises concern about the accuracy and reliability of Tether's financial statements and integrity of its operation. And one thing which I have noticed, guys, particularly since the last 2 months, is the market cap of Tether USDT is surprisingly interesting. The one thing which he did actually mention in the tweet, he does actually question why Tether, as a significant company with $80 billion market capitalization, has not conducted a routine audit, which is the standard practice for public companies and financial institutions. So guys, listen, there are massive red flags, and the tweets also highlight Tether's settlement with the New York Attorney General's office regarding allegations of covering up the loss of clients' funds, and this raises additional doubts about Tether's trustworthiness and credibility. And listen guys, he also suggests that Tether's lack of transparency and failure to audit indicate potential risks and lack of integrity, and what he does actually advise is strong caution and recommends avoiding involvement with Tether, which kind of I agree to. So what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, go to Twitter and follow John V. Stark, or if you do any information regarding Tether USDT, what I'd strongly recommend you to do is look at the yearly audits on a year-to-year basis, look at the 24-hour volume and compare it with the market cap, and then compare it with Circle USDC. You can also compare it with Binance BUSD, and guys, the numbers just does not make any sense. Now guys, let's discuss two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news is that Fintoch, they did actually hold a public event in Dubai to contribute to global fintech. Now let me try to give out some very basic level information regarding the event. And Fintoch is a US-based company, and they did recently organize an event on the 12th of May, and the event guys aimed to showcase Fintoch's latest blockchain technology applications to the global fintech industry, and representatives and experts from various countries including UAE, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, China, even Ghana attended the event, and Fintoch demonstrated its leading position and influence in the technology application field of the global fintech technology industry. And special guests at the conference including the Executive Director of the United Nations World Blockchain Group, Nasser, initiator of the Dubai Blockchain Center, and quite a lot of other. And the guests delivered speeches on the development trends of blockchain and expressed optimism for Fintoch's future. And William, chairman of Fintoch's board of directors, highlighted the launch of FTC public chain as a significant innovation in Fintoch's fintech field and a contribution to the global fintech industry. And Fintech guys intends to enhance technological research and promote the application of the FTC public chain, and the FTC public chain offers cross-border payments and settlement services for global financial institutions and enterprises, and they claim that it supports the development and use of decentralized financial products, also called as dApps, and facilitates asset digitization and circulation. And Fintoch's listing on Nasdaq marks a milestone in its innovative journey, and Fintoch guys aims to become a prominent player in the financial industry, delivering value and benefits to the users and investors. And the company guys is committed to fostering development opportunities and collaborating with partners in the fintech field. And Fintoch seems to make innovative contributions to the global fintech process, and the event guys and the FTC public chain launch set the stage for fintech's stable growth, and fintech's future endeavors will drive the progress of the fintech industry and benefit a wider audience. And the company's involvement in fintech will bring convenience and improve financial services to users. And guys, Fintoch will continue exploring opportunities and investing in Fintoch, solidifying its position in the industry. Now what I did guys, I literally took this news, put it in ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT to identify some of the positives regarding this news and some of the negatives of this news. So let me try to highlight some of the positives that ChatGPT actually identified, followed by the negatives. Now here goes the positives. So the positive points are that Fintech's public event in Dubai attracted representatives and experts from numerous countries, demonstrating the company's global recognition and influence in the fintech industry. And the launch of FTC public chain and Fintoch's listing in Nasdaq signify important milestones, positioning the company as a significant player in the financial industry and opening up opportunities for growth and collaboration. Now, so far as the negative points is concerned, it states that despite Fintoch's emphasis on showcasing its latest technology, latest blockchain technological applications, specific details about the showcased applications and the potential impact on the fintech industry are not mentioned, which would leave attendees and potential investors wanting for more information. And while Fintoch's intentions to strengthen technological research and promote the application of the FTC public chain are highlighted, there is no mention of any concrete plan or strategies for achieving these goals, potentially raising concerns about the company's execution and delivery in the future. Now, mind you guys, these are the positive and negatives identified by ChatGPT. When I put across the information, it could be possible that in the event that they have on 12th of May, they did actually cover all of these points, so I just thought I'll put it out there. Now guys, let's discuss the second news that did actually take place in the world of artificial intelligence, and this was in Saudi Arabia, and the Saudi Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority, also called as SDAIA, has launched a Generative Application Intelligence and Hackathon, and the hackathon aims to help develop high-tech ideas to successful businesses, and it is being organized jointly with the National Technology Development Program, also called as NTDP, and the New Native Accelerator is also cooperating in this initiative, and the goal is to build eligible models for the first batch of the Generative Artificial Intelligence Accelerator, and the event, guys, is scheduled to take place between the 18th to the 21st of May in Saudi Arabia, and this is in Riyadh. And the Generative Intelligence Accelerator aims to support individuals with AI ideas and prototypes, and the accelerator program will transform these models into startups and promote entrepreneurship, and participants in the hackathon will receive expert supervision and attend specialized courses, and the SDAIA and the NTDP have signed an agreement to enable AI technical business accelerators, and the hackathon is part of this agreement and aligns with Saudi Vision 2030, and the initiative, guys, reflects a commitment to promote innovation and sustainable development in the kingdom, and the hackathon provides an opportunity for individuals to turn the AI concepts into viable businesses, and it is expected to foster technological advancements and drive entrepreneurship in Saudi Arabia. Now, to learn more about the hackathon, what you can do is go to the website called lab.me, that is L for Larry, A for Alpha, B for Bravo, L for Larry, A for Alpha, B for Bravo.me, and the event is expected to attract innovators and AI enthusiasts from across the country, and successful startups emerging from hackathon could contribute to the growth of the AI industry in Saudi Arabia. And guys, a collaboration between SDAIA, that is the Saudi Data and Artificial Intelligence Authority, and NTDP, that is National Technology Development Program, and the New Native Accelerator aims to create a supportive ecosystem for AI-driven businesses. I do feel, guys, this will be an absolutely brilliant event. So the big question is, guys, will the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia be a world leader so far as artificial intelligence is concerned, keeping in mind Vision 2030, that is the expo, is getting closer, and by having such events, can Saudi Arabia have a competitive advantage in the artificial intelligence space? Personally, I definitely do feel over a period of time, Middle East will definitely be taking the lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia does have a competitive advantage in the artificial industry area and also in the technological sphere as well. But these are my thoughts, guys. So those are the news from Crypto and Coffee 88 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. You can also check out my website area2071.com, and guys, also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com. You'll get a plethora of information, and if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, guys, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Aliyah who asks, can Worldcoin be used in the Metaverse? Now to be honest, Aliyah, I really am not sold on the idea of Worldcoin yet. And when you talk about Metaverse, you always need to understand that there will be millions, if not billions of people actually logging in, logging out, doing different transactions. So keeping all these things in mind, you always need to take into consideration the TPS, that is the transactions per second. Unfortunately, earlier at this point of time, I really am not sure what the TPS is. And this is again, going back earlier to the basics of blockchain technology. TPS always need to be taken into consideration with the whole blockchain trilemma problem. Now, there are a lot of cryptocurrency protocols or blockchain protocols claim that they have the fastest TPS, but they often tend to have a very centralized protocol. Now, having a centralized protocol in the metaverse is fine, but I don't think it needs to be connected with, let's say, a cryptocurrency and blockchain protocol as of yet. But if you were to answer your question, let's say 8 to maybe a decade from now, as in where newer cryptography methods are invented, maybe second layer protocols, and by that time, if more number of users actually know how to use cryptocurrencies, then maybe 8 to 10 years down the line, Worldcoin could be perfectly ideal to access the metaverse. At this point of time, I really am not sure, but let's say if you were to revisit this question maybe 8 to 10 years down the line, I would absolutely love it to have something called like a Worldcoin, where you not only use it as a medium of payment, as a medium of exchange or a currency or payment, but you also log into metaverse using, let's say, a Worldcoin app. And because of the nature of how, at least as of now, how Worldcoin is designed, you have 100% privacy so far as your digital identity is concerned. Then I definitely do think so. It'll be an absolutely massive deal. But one thing Alia and our listeners should know is that similar projects have existed in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. Now, if you actually read into this information for the very first time, you'd be surprised and you might think that this is absolutely brilliant and might be an absolutely game changer. But there have been similar projects going back to even 2015, and this looks like just it's one of them. But one area where I do feel Worldcoin could have a competitive advantage is the number of users and the fact that it's connected to OpenAI, which actually blew the roof so far as new users is concerned. And one thing which is definitely lagging in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space is getting a lot of users to actually use it. And one thing which I've mentioned several times in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast and in my Metaverse Everything podcast is just switching current existing systems to newer systems will not cut it. The new experience has to be 10 times better, and ChatGPT does actually offer a 10x better user experience. So keeping all these things in mind, maybe 8 to 10 years down the line, I do feel that Worldcoin might be an absolutely game changer, but it's going to be really interesting to see how and when these news develops. Now, based on the website, it does state that they are planning to have decentralized. Now, the degree of decentralization differs. Ideally, I'd like it to be 100% distributed. Will that thing happen? Only time will tell. But to be honest, Alia, this is a brilliant question. It'll be worthwhile revisiting this maybe 8 to 10 years down the line. So those were the questions from the Ask Me Anything series cast in Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also guys check area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is we usually cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And this is followed by Ask Me Anything series that you're listening to right now, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.